गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिल प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिल प्रभुपाद। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ISKCON फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य स्वेयर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। पतित पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकानाथ की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। 6. Reading from Bhagavad-gītā, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Text 30. saṁśayo viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca svāpa buddher lakṣaṇaṁ vṛttitaḥ pṛthak saṁśayo viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca ucyate buddher lakṣaṇaṁ vṛttitaḥ pṛthak saṁśayatho viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca ucyate buddher lakṣaṇaṁ vṛttitaḥ pṛthak saṁśayo viparyāso saṁśayo viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca buddher saṁśayo viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca Vaishnavis. saṁśayo viparyāso niścayaḥ smṛtireva ca buddher saṁśayaḥ, doubt. Atha, then. Viparyāsaḥ, misapprehension. Niścayaḥ, correct apprehension. smṛtiḥ, memory. Eva, also. Cha, and. svāpaḥ, sleep. Iti, thus. Ucyate, are said. Buddheḥ, of intelligence. lakṣaṇaṁ, characteristics. vṛttitaḥ, by their functions. pṛthak, different. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. Doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep are determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. Purport. Doubt is one of the important functions of intelligence. Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Therefore, the word saṁśaya is very important. In order to cultivate intelligence, one should be doubtful in the beginning. But doubting is not very favorable when information is received from the proper source. In Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord says that the doubting the words of the authority is a cause of destruction. As described in Patanjali Yoga system, pramana vipraya vikalpa nidra smṛtiḥ. By intelligence, only one can understand things as they are. By intelligence only one can understand whether or not he is the body. The study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. When one is able to analyze his actual position, the false identification with the body is detected. This is viparyāso. When false identification is detected, the real identification can be understood. Real understanding is described here as niścayaḥ, or proved experimental knowledge. This experimental knowledge can be achieved when one has understood the fake knowledge. False knowledge. By experimental or proved knowledge, one can understand that he is not the body but spirit soul. Smṛtiḥ means memory and svāpa means sleep. Sleep is also necessary to keep the intelligence in working order. If there is no sleep, the brain cannot work nicely. In Bhagavad-gītā, it is especially mentioned that persons who regulate eating, sleeping, and other necessities of the body in the proper proportion become very successful in the yoga process. These are some of the aspects of analytical study of intelligence as described in both the Patanjali yoga system and the Sankhya philosophy system of Kapila Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak something glorifying Lord for all of your pleasure and for my purification. So here we are in 26th chapter, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature, wherein Kapila Dev is answering questions asked by Mother Devahuti. Okay. So in today's verse, he is mentioning doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep are determined by their different functions, are said to be distinct characteristics of intelligence. So we'll see three things. First, doubt, how it is necessary, but to what degree. Second, we'll see some pastimes of Lord which can put us in doubt, but are really how to understand them. And third, we'll see how Prabhupada is mentioning that all these functions of sleep and about regulation is mentioning about how this regulation helps in keeping the intelligence working. So first thing about doubt. So whenever, I think most of us, we had this, whenever we have heard about devotees or seen devotees doing Sankirtan, the first thing comes is, what is going on? So there is this question. And then somebody comes, gives us a book. You said, why you want to give me? That doubt is there, right? And then you start, especially, somebody gives prasadam, hey, why is giving? In India, this, my brother-in-law, when he went to college, his mother used to say, yeah, if you are going for a program, you go, but you don't eat anything, because, I heard they mix something in it, because that time in India there was this infamous song, Dam Maro Dam, Mit Jai Gam, Bola Subhe Sham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. So basically there was a movie in 80s, 90s, wherein they depicted that they were trying to show this counterculture wherein people, they take drug and, after taking drug they are, chanting Hare Krishna, So many Indians, to this date, if you go in the villages, sometimes the old people, they have this misconception that, they put something in the prasad, and then when you eat that prasad, you start, getting, some delirious, you become addicted basically on that. So yes, we do put something in prasad, but that's not drug, What the temporary, this material world's insignificant drug in comparison to the transcendental love and devotion that devotee put in this, and that is what actually, makes it more addictive. I remember one, we used to preach in colleges, used to get our friends. So one friend came, he was from South India. Now, in South India, the staple is rice dal. That's every day they eat, morning, evening, varieties of it. So we had, same dal, rice, prasad. He ate that prasad, and after eating, he said, my whole life I have been eating dal rice. But this tastes so different. That means you say this is prasad, it has to be something special. That guy was a heavy smoker. He quit smoking. He started chanting 16 rounds within 2 months. So yes, people doubt, but then they doubt wrongly. So doubt is required, but we have to, like Prabhupada is mentioning, this is here, is blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Therefore, the word saṁśaya is very important. In order to cultivate intelligence, one should be doubtful. There is a condition in the beginning. But doubting is not very favorable when information is received from proper source. The classic example of this is Arjuna. When Krishna says, the same knowledge, I had spoken to sun god Vivaswan, he asked, oh Krishna, you are just about same age as me. Sun god has been, long ago, you are saying. So how am I to understand that you spoke this knowledge? So how am I to understand? So Arjuna put his doubt, but he did not say, hey, I don't, you are just bluffing, He said, tell somebody else. No. He said, how am I to understand? So when we put questions to spiritual master, even if sometimes the things may seem very, very illogical or, to our intelligence, how should we approach? Like Arjuna, how am I to understand? This is the proper way of doubting. And then once Krishna told him that, we had many births, I remember all, you did not. He was, questions were resolved, and at the end of Bhagavad-gītā, when Krishna again asked, do you have any questions? If not, yatha ichchasi tata kuru, do as you like. Then what he says? Nashto moha smṛtir labdhva tvat prasadat maya achyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. So once we have faith on the instruction of spiritual master, then I'll do what you say. Yes, sir. That should be the disciples' approach. So yes, initial days we ask questions, we ask philosophical questions. But once we have faith, we don't have to keep doubting. Otherwise, one become skeptic. It is said that fool can answer so many questions that intelligent person cannot answer. Somebody is fool. So if somebody just for a sake of doubting, he is doubting, they are offering today that pujari, I was counting, he did 9 times. It should be 7 times. Is he fallen or am I fallen? This is unnecessary things. So I'm just giving a very crude example. But so the point is, if we keep doubting, then there is no salvation actually. Even in Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna says that the person who is always doubtful, saṁśayo, I think it is, let me see if I get the correct verse. Saṁśayo mahabaho, yes, bro. This. So basically what he says is that, one who is always doubtful, he'll have peace neither in this world nor next. Okay. So we don't have to go in this skeptic zone. Okay. Skeptical zone. So there are 3 things that when the discussion is happening, they call something is called as, what is that? Let me see. Jalpa. Jalpa, we all know Prajalpa. So there is Jalpa also. The Jalpa, Vitanda and Vad. So these 3 technical terms when people discuss each other. So Jalpa meaning what? I have some point, the other person has some point. We both are trying to prove my point, I am right. This should be done in that way. This should be done in that way. So this is called as Jalpa, trying to prove something, Vitanda means that fellow doesn't have anything to prove himself. He just wants to defeat other. That is called Vitanda. And that is this category of skeptical person who is always doubtful. So, whatever you do, no, this is wrong. How it is wrong, he'll put any nonsensical arguments. So this is called Vitanda. Like for example, this, Prabhupada is mentioning this basics. We are not body, we are spirit, soul, right? In this whole purport he is describing. The real knowledge is understanding by experiment and or proved knowledge. Experimental or proved knowledge, one has to understand he is not body but spirit, soul. So we tell them, simple, it is logical. When person dies, we say he passed away. Who passed away? He is still there. No, but there is something else. So even if there are like scientists, when we say there is this near-death experience, out-of-body experience, still they say, no, there is some chemical combination, exact temperature, exact, surroundings. That time we can bring life. Can you do it? Prabhupada used to say, we'll do it in future. He said, don't give post-dated check. Can we do it? No. So this is in the second category, that, Vitanda, that one is not ready to listen to others, but just trying to defeat his point. And third is Vad. So Vad meaning both people want to find what is the truth together. Okay. So that is Vad. So Krishna says that amongst these 3, I am the Vad, so this Vad category. So we see that Bhagavatam also is arranged such a way that person's faith is tested. That's why Prabhupada used to say that please read from first canto. Because unless we are thorough with the basics of philosophy, how the creation is taking place, we cannot appreciate the pastimes of Lord, like that's 10th canto. Now when, in 5th canto, there is this creation, how gold is formed. There are big, trees with big fruits. I think jambu fruits, right? They fall and, mango fruits. And there are rivers of this mango juice. And then on the banks, that juice gets dried and it forms a gold. Okay. Now put your intelligence cap. Can you understand? I have seen mango this big. Where is the river of mango? There are oceans of liquor.
All the people who are drunkard, they must be very happy to hear that at least. Like we have, Prabhupada says, like we have ocean of salt water, there are planets wherein there is ocean of liquor. There are planets where there is ocean of milk. How to understand. The whole planet is situated on the universe is situated on the hoods of Ananta Shesh. When Lord Mahavishnu is lying, from his body pores, when he inhales, all the universes go in. When he exhales, all the universes come out. Doubtful. Is it scientific? It's very much scientific. For that, first step is understand from where knowledge is coming. When we learn maths, somebody has seen pi? 22/7, that is the pi value, right? Somebody has seen that? Has somebody seen gravitational force number? There is something called as I, square root of -1. Sometimes remember math, right? That itself is called as imaginary number. Have somebody seen it? You say yourself scientific and you say that, this square root of -1 is I, which is imaginary number. So you are okay because you see that, okay, you use that and then you put some equation, you bring the result. But the same thing, when it comes to scriptures, you start doubting. This is called half-hen logic. You take whatever is, good part and leave the others. No. Scriptures are also scientific. But these things are put in there to make sure any skeptical person is duped. He doesn't go to, offend Krishna by trying to understand his pastimes. Because unless you have that firm faith on what scriptures are saying are correct, we cannot really appreciate and benefit from Krishna's pastimes. So therefore, Prabhupada is mentioning very beautiful statement, But doubting is not very favorable when the information is received from the proper source. So when we get that understanding that yes, scriptures, what they are telling is correct, even if it is not comprehensible by me as of now, let me put a faith, let me keep practicing, I'll see the results. Eventually I'll understand. Because there are many things which cannot be perceived by our senses. Forget about many things. If I put something too close to eye, I cannot see. Can somebody see? You try this. Take your hand, put very close. No, I can't see what's going, just outside. So my senses are so limited. My intelligence is so limited. How can I say that, I'll understand all the scriptures? Okay. And then comes Krishna's pastimes. So when our initial doubt is dispelled, and with that understanding that yes, what scriptures are saying is correct, when we go forward, then only we can appreciate Lord's pastimes. Krishna, as we know that this, one day, Krishna gets up and he's hungry. And, after getting up, he comes from the bedroom and he sees Mother Yashoda. She was churning butter. And, he says, I am hungry. Krishna, he says, So, and she starts crying, I want your attention. Now, a skeptical fellow, what he'll say? You say that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Atma Ram, self-satisfied. Why he needs mother's milk? But that is that skeptical lens. We have to keep that down because now pastimes are going on. Because Lord is subordinate to the devotion of devotees. And then Mother Yashoda takes Krishna on her lap. She starts feeding her. But as she was doing, she sees that the milk which she has kept for boiling, that was overflowing. See, in spiritual world, everything is a person. So this milk, though it was very special, he had desire to serve Krishna. But that milk knew that Mother Yashoda has unlimited love for Krishna. Krishna has unlimited love for Mother Yashoda. So how Krishna is going to drink me? if he is satisfied with mother's milk. So this, milk says, there is no use of my existence. Let me not exactly commit suicide, but let me just, finish it off. So he starts boiling over. And then, but Mother Yashoda is seeing, she immediately puts Krishna down, goes, pick up that milk, keeps it down. But meanwhile, Krishna becomes angry. Again, skeptical mind, Krishna is beyond all three modes. How can he become angry? He'll certainly become angry. He can even become Lord Narasimha, which is fearful to, even fear personified. Because, again, loving dealings with devotees. So Krishna wanted to do some mischief. He breaks the pot, runs in fear of Mother Yashoda, and then while running he thinks, oh, let me, anyway I am going to get, I am doing mischief, let me do some more. He goes, starts baking all the pots where, yogurt is kept, the butter is kept, start feeding to monkeys, And then Mother Yashoda comes, take a sticks, try to catch Krishna. Krishna is running, Mother Yashoda is running behind her. And see, everything is so personal. There it said that there are flowers on Mother Yashoda's, bread, right? So the flowers were thinking, so some flowers they are on Krishna's side, some flowers they are on Yashoda Mata's side. So the flowers which were on Yashoda Mata's side, they were thinking, oh, Mother Yashoda is running, it's taking time for her to catch Krishna. Why to put our weight? So let us jump off so that she can run fast. And the flowers which are on Krishna's side, they were thinking, hey, it was Mother Yashoda's mistake, She should not have put Krishna down. So what Krishna did, okay, but now he is going to get beating, so let's not be part of that whole thing. Let us, jump off. So all the flowers, they fell off. Her hair got loose and she was, perspiring. And, where the, we know this Kaliyavan, this guy was, he was running like anything, but he was just, like this much away from Krishna and was thinking, yes, I'll just catch him. But he could never catch Krishna actually. And ultimately we know that he was delivered, using Muchkunda as a medium. So here, but, where, Krishna, who cannot be caught by anyone, Mother Yashoda finally catches him. And then starts most bewildering part. Okay, he gets a rope. He said, I want to tie you. 2 finger, too short. Now you take any sane person, you tell him that, there is, I need a two finger of, worth of rope. He'll give you a, 10-foot rope. And if I tie with that, will it not cover these 2 fingers? Take an experiment. When we go home, take a rope, measure 2 fingers, then take some rope which is more than 2 fingers, tie it, and see if 2 fingers are getting covered. Will it get covered? Yes or no? It will get covered. Obviously, why you are saying? And it is said, not only, Yashoda Mata, all the gopis, they, by the time, whenever Krishna does, news spreads very fast, right? Everybody came and then, Mother Yashoda also says, okay, let me see, get more rope. And it was not tying. So initially it was a little bit astonishing, but Mother Yashoda is Mother Yashoda. She said, okay, let me see how much rope you need today. And she got all, asked all her assistant to get more ropes. So it was, festival of ropes. Now, any so-called scientifically intelligent mind, can he understand this? It's not possible. So this is the time when we have to go back to this Prabhupada statement. But doubting is not very favorable when the information is received from the proper source. Can Krishna do this? Why not? If he can fit a big banyan tree in a small seed. That famous story of Narad Muni and cobbler, right? Cobbler asked what my Narayan is doing. He said he's needling the elephant through the eye of a needle. He said, wow, my Lord can do anything. And yes, he can do anything. And then cobbler himself says, Narad Muni says, how can you believe? He said, yeah, if you can put a small, in a small seed, if he can put such a big banyan tree, why can't he, thread an elephant through, So this is called as faith. So we have to transcend from this initial doubtful state. Once we have the, yes, it's not that. It said blind following. Prabhupada said no. Ask questions. But once we understand that scriptures say right, then we should relish this pastime that yes, my Lord is so beautiful that he can, despite adding ropes, he can still keep it 2 finger too short. And when he wants. Now the same Yashoda Mata in the morning, she must have put this, what they call anklet? No, not anklet. They put kambar patta, waist belt. Waist belt, right? Now waist belt is also around his waist. She could fit it, but she could not bind it despite so many ropes. Neither the mortar was expanding nor Krishna was expanding. How? This is called iti druksvalila. These are transcendental pastimes. And they drown the inhabitants. These Vrajavasis are not skeptical. They won't doubt, Krishna really did. Is there some magic? Or Yashoda Mata, are you really, is the rope, there is some problem in the rope? No. They don't doubt. They just enjoy basically, So, that's why Krishna says, if somebody is doubtful, he won't enjoy in this world, neither in the next. So therefore, yes, we have to keep our intelligence open. That doesn't mean, if somebody is saying something wrong, we need to question. If somebody says, no, scripture talk this. That's why I very happy here. We always have, if we quote something, Rabindranath Prabhu is the one first to raise hand and he says, what is the reference? We should not, speak anything without reference. So, but once we have reference, we need to have faith. And how can we get that? When we associate with devotees, we have this faith, then why not? We'll get that faith and we'll pass this doubtful, moment. Not moment actually, the stage of, doubting everything. And we can relish pastimes. One more interesting thing is, here, Prabhupada is mentioning is that this mind is product of goodness and intelligence is product of passion. Now, if we see in terms of modes of nature, goodness is higher than passion, right? And Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna says that intelligence is higher than mind, right? Then how can a lower, lower mode give a product of something higher? Getting my point? So how a goodness can give, how mind can be product of a goodness and how intelligence can be product of a passion. So Acharya has explained that actually because of intelligence we get more and more ideas to enjoy. So that's like expanding material enjoyment. So that is actually passionate activity in the sense expansion. Whereas in mind keeps us in material world. So it's like maintains our stay in material world by desiring to be here. So therefore anything maintenance is goodness, anything expansion is passion. So therefore, though intelligence is higher than mind, intelligence is product of passion, wherein mind is product of goodness. Okay. So to summarize, in this verse, Kapil Dev is explaining that how, and actually, one more point, sorry, towards the last purport, Prabhupada is mentioning this yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu, how we need to be regulated in all the activities so that intelligence can function properly. So to summarize, we saw that we need to doubt, but the way Arjuna did, how am I to understand? That is the proper way to doubt anything. But once we clarify our initial doubt, then we should not keep questioning. Because if we keep doubting, then we become a skeptical, and skeptical fellow doesn't have any future, neither in this world nor in the next. And then we saw that how the scriptures, there are natural filters like Bhagavatam 5th canto. If somebody doesn't have faith, they can't, go beyond, neither they would be able to appreciate. But once we can see that, yes, Krishna can do this in material world, then why not? Krishna can, expand one night of Rasila into one night of Brahma. He can do that. Why not? Krishna can expand himself into, unlimited number of calves and unlimited number of cowherd boys exactly the same way in Brahmamyo and Livala. Why not? The rope can still be 2 fingers too short, despite adding 10 feet. Because Krishna is wonderful. So once we have that initial faith, we'll be able to really appreciate that. So let's, and then Prabhupada's purports are such an amazing, insights for all these so-called, bewildering aspects. So let's be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and, appreciate the wonderful pastimes of Lord by reading, hearing and chanting in this holy month of Damodar. This I'd like to stop. Any questions, comments? Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you mentioned about the flowers on the hair of Mother Yasoda, and Krishna wanted to jump off. So is that mentioned by one of our acharyas?
Sanatana Goswami's commentary on Damodar Ashtakam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And what about the milk wanting to boil over?
Yeah, I have heard that in a class by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. I'll try to find the reference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it may be very well in that same commentary, but yeah, I'll cross check. Yeah, it's yes. Yeah. Any last? Yes, bro.
Prabhu, you mentioned a very beautiful word called transcendental love. It's a highest taste coming from, being in the material world and, not doing everyday devotional service. So I'm speaking from that perspective, right? This whole transcendental love is, in a way, I think it's almost like a dream to be achieved. You hear it a lot of times, so it's like a promised land. How does one get into that promised land now when you're living in the material world? How does one taste it? Because people talk about it a lot, but there seems to be a disconnect to actually experiencing it. And I've always desired it. It almost has become like a carrot for me in my life to achieve that transcendental love, and just doesn't seem to happen at all. And the reason when I say that is that you love the Lord and you want to be with Him, but all that transcendental love disappears when your wife is just screaming at your ears that she wants to do grocery shopping right now, and this has to happen when you're on the phone. All that feeling of transcendental love has disappeared, and it's gone, and it's almost like a mirage, and it's a maya in itself. So how does one achieve that and stay in that, basically?
Yeah, very nice question. Thank you. So actually, yes, it's very true that, what is described in scripture is very, very far-fetched. But when we start practicing, it's not that Krishna won't give us that realization. See, here we see devotees practicing from 50, 60 years. And they are doing selfless service. They are not getting paid. They are not getting name, fame, glory. But, Mother Gunavati Mata, she does, this pujari services, dresses for deity. Hardly even anybody knows it. So what is driving her, or what is driving so many other devotees here in the community? So when we practice, it is said, proof of pudding is in eating. When you chant, when you do some service, you feel that satisfaction internally. So yes, I may not be at that highest level. See, anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnam vritaswadanam. But at my level, whatever is required to further my practice in devotional service, Krishna will give that realization. Krishna will give that experience of happiness. It can come through kirtan, it can come through prasad, it can come through service, it can come through taking darshan of deities. It will come. And then when we continue with that experience, anandam buddhi vardhanam. So it is complete at that moment, but it's always expanding, increasing. It will increase. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada that, what if at the time of death you know that Krishna is not there? Prabhupada said, so what? Even if we hypothetically assume that is the case, what is our life? We start our day with dancing, then we associate with nice, selfless persons around us, and then we eat nice, hygienic, food which is not stale or frozen for 7 months, freshly cooked by devotees, offered with love, and we do nice service. So we are having a jolly time. But then he said, what if you realize at the time of death Krishna is dead? You just wasted your life, right? So yes, so why scripture mentioned that? Yes, that's our aspiration. That's where we have to go. But yeah, day-to-day things, family maintenance, some issues, health issues, they'll keep coming. But when we have a goal fixed on that, we'll keep practicing. And when we keep practicing, at each moment, it will be different for different devotees. But Krishna does give us that taste, because of which we are able to continue. So we have to just make sure we chant regularly, we don't offend devotees. We follow instructions given by Srila Prabhupada and his representatives. There is more than enough taste, even which we can, we cannot say it as a carrot. Yeah, love of Godhead is very far-fetched things, but Krishna does give us experience, when we, try to practice it. And that experience will keep us. It said one fine day we'll be in Goloka, back home, back to Godhead. Till then, we struggle. So struggle is real, but there is enough, when we practice devotional service, Krishna will give us enough motivating factors to continue that. Provided, we don't offend, and we are sticking to the instruction, chanting, following 4 regulative principles, not offending devotees, coming in association. You have to get test. Otherwise, so many devotees for so many years, it's difficult. Last 50 years chanting same mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, 16 rounds a day. Unless there is some taste given by Lord, it's not simply possible. And then it's up to individual how one gets that particular quota. So Krishna is very individualistic. He's in our heart as a Paramatma also, right? So while we are struggling in this material world, if we have that sincere desire, then Krishna does give us that boost. I hope that answers. Yeah. Okay. Yes, last question, Prabhu. Yeah.
Sorry. Can you explain again how intelligence comes from passion? That understanding?
No. So I think in this verse or the past verse, right, its intelligence is a part of actually in this series of verses itself, it's mentioned that the transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. So this is the verse just before today's verse, yesterday's verse, right? So what I heard the explanation is, the passion means expansion, right? Expanding. So by intelligence, we always, in conditioned souls, try to get newer and newer ideas to do sense enjoyment, right? So that is like, expanding activity, creating new ideas, right? So therefore it said it's, it's a product of passion. Does that make sense?
Just because it expands.
Yeah, it's expands. And then what is the Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna explains, right? The characteristics of mode of goodness, it's like, maintenance, passion, expand, ignorance, dull, going down.
Okay, thank you.
जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री कपिल देव की जय, श्री दामोदर मंत की जय.